What do you do when your dream project collides head-on with a billion-dollar publishing machine? And what do you do about a title that you believe God gave you and it's suddenly attached to someone else's book? We're going to talk about that and more on today's episode. Today I'm talking with Dan Atkins, a husband, a father of four, a former pastor and high school teacher, and personal friend who's poured about 4 years into his debut novel, The Light Seekers. After a successful Kickstarter campaign, Dan's navigating the challenges of self-publishing, grassroots marketing, and now a potential title change sparked by a major publisher's uncanny title overlap. So Dan and I met up to talk through the real tension, how to steward the story that God gave him while wisely charting a path forward. And here's something I want you to pay close attention for. Listen to how Dan is responding to a totally unanticipated challenge. Let's dive in.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for having me. So quick background, I'm local, born and raised, Tuolumne native. I live here with my wife and my 4 kids, and I work at Somerville High School. I was a pastor of a home church for a number of years, and we connected through church. I'm in a home group for quite a few years. Yeah, lots of other things. My wife and I own a small business on the side, and she's kindergarten teacher. We got lots going on, but kind of the big thing I'm pushing for right now and excited about is this book that I wrote. It's called The Light Seekers, Out of Darkness, is the first book in a series I've been working on for 4.5 years or so, and just am wrapping up a Kickstarter campaign that's been really cool and successful. I'm excited about people supporting it, and kind of looking towards next steps as I've got some pre-orders and some momentum, but really want to see where God wants this book to go. So I think that's one of the topics to delve into is how do we what's the wise move next?
So before we go any further, for those who are listening, just a quick plug. Dan let me have an advanced reader's copy. I started reading with my family, and my family loves reading together. It's one of our favorite ways to spend time. We've been doing it since they were very, very little, and we have probably read hundreds, if not thousands of hours worth of books together. I started reading this with my kids just as we were backpacking this last week, and they were begging for more with each chapter. Now, we haven't finished it yet, but we are already hooked. And I will tell you, this is not your vanilla sort of story. Dan's writing style is extremely compelling and fun to read. So if you have kids, or even if you don't, this would be a great read for you. We'll give you some information at the end so you can check it out. So, Dan, I told you, the way that I like to run these sessions is let's just pretend it's just you and I hanging out on your porch, drinking coffee. You've got some stuff that you're facing right now with the publishing of this book. So if you could leave with clarity around just like one key thing, what would you want to get today?
I think the big one, this is all new territory for me. I've never written a book. I've never published. I've never marketed. I'm not super savvy on social media. But I think the big takeaway would be this Kickstarter thing wraps up in less than a week. And then I've got a couple months while I'm waiting for some illustrations to be finished. Clarity on just what's the next best move to get it out there. I don't know how to get it beyond my community. Most of the supporters are people I know, which is great. Mm-hmm. And I've had some interest from just some random people, but it's because I'm self-published, I don't have a great strategy or plan on how do I get this book out into more of the mainstream. And so that would be the big one for sure. Yeah. Okay. And there's a secondary one too, but I don't know if I think I have that one solved.
You do? Okay, well, let's talk about it a little bit. I mean, Dan, you got this nasty surprise last week.
Yeah. Yeah. So short version is I was challenged to write a story by a good friend of mine. We were camping as our families, and I've known him for a long time. And he was just like, man, you should write a book or a story or something. Have you ever thought about it? And I was like, I mean, yeah, I've thought about it. I said, that'd be cool someday. And I went back to our tent trailer, and I was laying in bed and my eyes were closed, and I just wasn't a vision, but I had the words "the light seekers" just clear, popped in. I was like, that's cool. And then I had an image of this kid who was in darkness and kind of deep underground, and then a little light flickered. That was it. That was the start of this book. So I really, I mean, it has gone through hundreds of revisions, and the story has, taken all kinds of different turns, and it's amazing where it's ended up from where it started. But that title, The Light Seekers, has just, I felt like God gave me that title. Like, this is what's going to get you going. And I've been plugging this on social media. I'm learning how to do ads and that kind of thing, and it's been kind of fun learning that world. And I pull up my little Instagram page, which is called Light Seeker Series. And I mean, within seconds, I scroll down and there's an ad for a book called Light Seekers. And it's got a cool cover, and it's got a release date, March 2026. And my instant thought was, this is some weird AI thing that's like trying to market to me, like, hey, come buy our services and we can help you with your book. And so I click on it. I'm like, what in the world? And then I really quickly realized it is a legitimate book being written by a very legitimate author, Emily Bain Murphy, I believe. New York Times bestseller, heavy hitter, sold, I think, millions of copies of some of her other books in different genres. It's being published by Random House Penguin. That's as big as it gets in this world. My book is like young adult targeted. We love the Wing Feather series, and that's the same publishing company that published Wing Feather. And so she's got reviews from some amazing people. And one of the reviews says, follow the adventures or something of Finn and his friends. And that's when I was like, unreal. My main character's name is Finn. My title is The Light Seekers. And you put the covers side by side, and it's like, man, that would be confusing for somebody to go, are these just different versions of the same book? I think her subtitle is Out of the Shadows, and mine is Out of Darkness. So anyway, initially I was like, man, they stole it, and I'll get all your emotions, but
Right.
the odds are pretty incredible to have the same title, same main character. But I think it's just, for whatever reason, coincidence, just happened to hit at the same time. But so I've been just praying and asking people for wisdom. She's a Christian author. No ill will. I'm praying like, hey, how do we? I haven't reached out to her yet. I probably will very soon. I'm just kind of waiting. But yeah, praying like, man, I really don't want to let go of this title, but if I keep it, I just running through all the scenarios. Unless for some reason she's like, oh, I'm not married to this. Yeah, I've got other ideas and you can keep it. Unlikely. Right. Be surprised if she gets back to me. Mm-hmm. So I've played around with different titles, but as a Christian, it's like, Lord, you're not accidental. Coincidences are meaningful, and they're preordained. And so the fact that two Christian authors in completely different worlds have been sitting down working on a story called Light Seekers about kids for kids is super cool, and needed. And I think both of our stories are I'm sure hers is fantastic. I really feel like mine's great, and I don't want them to, detract from each other. And so I'm praying there's a way we can both help each other. And if not, and she, I don't get any contact from her or her people, I'll probably be changing the name. I don't want there to be like, yeah, check out my book, Light Seekers. It's on Amazon, and hers is going to be featured. Sure. She's got the backing and all of that. So so that was like I've had a week to kind of reach out to different people. I even have a friend who's in the publishing industry who has a contact at Penguin, and they were like, "Oh, I can't really say much other than I know that book exists. Good luck." It's like, okay. So I mean that leaving with clarity on that, it would be good too. But I've run through all the different scenarios, and I think ultimately it'll depend on when I reach out to her. If she responds, then we'll go from there. If I don't get a response, then I'll most likely change the title, and I have to share with my followers like, hey, by the way, I'm changing the
Right.
title, and
Right.
here's why. And I think I will do a side by side and be like, this is crazy. It's crazy. I mean, I'm like, 1 in a million, we have the same title. 1 in 100 million, we have the same main character. I mean,
Easily, right? I mean, it's or even less likely. Yeah.
So I don't know. Yeah. So that was like, all right, Lord, whoa. That was a total, unexpected plot twist in this story. So maybe there'll be a book I'll write about this.
There you go. Yeah. It can be your memoir.
Yep.
Do you feel like you can move forward with the marketing angle until you have the branding locked down?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still like I locked in the domain Light Seeker Series. My Instagram is Light Seeker Series. My email is Light Seeker Series. I feel like the sooner the better to change it, just so I can push out some new marketing. And I've been ordering samples like the one I gave you of the book,
right,
with the Light Seekers, and the plan is for the book is intended to be part of an ongoing series. I've already written the second book. I know for sure there's a third and a fourth, and I don't want to change. You can't change a series name in the halfway through. It's just too confusing.
Right. No, now's the time to do it if you're going to do it.
I'm not crunched, but I'd love to in the next few weeks to be able to say, hey, I'm pivoting. Here's why. It's still, the story is still great. It doesn't change anything, but the Light Seekers, it's not a random title like that. That theme runs deeply, and that phrasing even. I mean, it's like it's integral to the story. But there's some other plays on those words that I'm not as stoked on as the Light Seekers, but I would settle for sure.
So do you mean, when you say plays on those words, do you mean basically using synonyms?
Yeah. I mean, the one I'm on right now, I is like Seeking the Light series. It's Light Seekers. It's active. It's Seeking the Light. I think there's less confusion, and it sticks with the theme, and it's catchy. Seeking the Light series. It rolls off the tongue nice. Seek the Light series, or this one, I don't know. In the story, the main characters are stone hunters. They hunt for these glow stones, and that's used a lot. So Light Hunters kind of has a cool ring, but the connotation of hunting is usually intended to go kill something. And I don't think kids would necessarily get hung up on that. But for me, like, the ultimate light, they're seeking is truth, and what is truth. And so hunting, but hunting's got kind of a cool, like, imagery of like going out and tracking something down and, wanting to get it. So it's Seeking the Light series or the Light Hunters series are my two front runners, I would say.
Yeah. So, I mean, we could absolutely pivot to hey, how do I get the word out? How do I spread, the excitement? But I think that you've already said it, but I just want to affirm, I think that it makes sense. Like, if you're going to make a fundamental change like that, and I'm not in the publishing world, right? But, as you said, you don't want to change midstream. Like, now is the lowest impact and least expensive time to make a change like that before you've actually set it in concrete.
Yep.
So we can talk about marketing, but I wouldn't advise, like, hitting the accelerator until you've actually formalized some of those changes.
Yep. Yeah, and my process is in fairness to, I don't know how long that post was done last week, but it's a big publishing company. She had to have submitted that months, year, I don't know. So
Right.
she's had that. I you know, I feel like 4 years I've had that book. She published a book about 2 years ago that was big. So maybe she's been working on it for 4 years, but I don't believe so based on what I've been reading in her blog.
I mean, it's not a I was here first sort of argument. It's a I've got bigger, better lawyers argument.
There's no that ship is never even had a sail. So I but in fairness to just like, hey, one, I would love to talk to her. I really would. Like,
Sure.
I would. How the heck did you come up with that title and the main character? Like,
Right.
because this is wild.
This is
I would just,
uncanny.
at a baseline, I would just love, and I'd love to. I'd love to pick her brain about her writing and her. How did she, she's obviously made a career out of it. That's like a dream. Now I didn't
Sure.
ever really have that, but when I sit down and write, I'm like, man, I could do that. Like I can write and edit, and I love it, and I would love to free up more time to do that, and so to connect with somebody, and I feel like there is at least an open door to connect with her. Like, hey, I'm reaching out from my Instagram account called Light Seeker Series to you about your book, and I'm not coming at you like, hey, you stole my title. I'm just like,
Right.
this is wild, and can we talk? And is there any way this can be mutually beneficial? I don't know. So I
Yeah.
want to give her the benefit of the doubt before I start posting, hey, look at this, because I've shown people, and even the text is very similar.
Yeah.
The title text. I mean, and so I think when I post it, I need to be careful that I'm not insinuating any
Yes.
copying. I don't want to, but people are gonna, if I just post it and go, this is wild, I think people would look at it and be like, there's no way. And so I need to, but I don't want to just go, hey, by the way, I'm changing my title. And
Right.
that I need to. And so in fairness to her, and as a Christian, I want to come and say, hey, is there any way we can talk about this? Can we connect? If not, then I'll just probably post like, hey, this is what happened.
Yeah.
It's crazy. It's wild. I haven't heard back from her. I wish her book the best. I plan on ordering it. It sounds really cool. You should check it out.
And I don't suspect any foul play, like just so that
No,
you get out ahead of the commentary,
yeah,
right?
I will be
Yeah.
very clear on that. But I mean, I think it's kind of fun to share. Like, this is like,
Yeah.
when does this ever happen? Like,
Right.
this doesn't happen. I mean, some of the people I've talked to, they're like, this is what, like, this title, that's odd. Title, main character, that's unheard of. That's wild. Um, but then it'll be like, hey, I might even do like a survey for the followers. Like, hey, here's the titles I'm thinking. What do you guys think? And
Dan,
those are
that
fun.
is brilliant.
Yeah. Yeah. Get them involved in the process.
Yeah.
So yeah, initially total gut punch, total like, oh my, I kind of lost some steam of just like, ugh, what do I do? Yeah, like, maybe the publishing company saw and they're like, we're going to help this guy and we're going to get the word out early. So he doesn't publish
Sure.
300 books and just
Sure.
have to reprint them all. Yeah. So my plan was to reach out to her early next week and give her a few days. And if I don't hear back, then I'm just gonna move on with a title change.
Yeah.
And let them
So
know.
I think you're stealing from, I mean, not stealing, but you're copying from some really reputable minds when it comes to the poll idea. You've probably followed Ramsey Solutions a little bit, but
Yeah.
every single time they get ready for one of their personalities to launch a new book, a couple of months before, they will reach out to their huge list and ask for, hey, we need some help titling this. And I suspect that's not mostly because they're trying to land on the right title,
Sure.
but mostly because they're trying to generate buzz around the new book, right?
Buzz and investment. I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind of like the Kickstarter. Like, you're on the ground floor of helping. They can get their name in the book. You feel like you're part of the story, which is cool. But with this, yeah, it would be like, oh, I picked that title, or oh, I like this one, or So I'll probably, yeah, post like 3 or 4 options. And then if you have others, send them my way. And I'll probably include a link to like the first 3 or 4 chapters of the book just so people can like get an idea. But
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, that's cool.
So I often talk about wearing two hats in my role, and sometimes I'm in the coach role where I'm asking questions, and sometimes I'm in the teacher role. So for just a moment, would you allow me to put on the teacher hat and talk
Do
about
it.
sales and marketing?
Yeah.
So I often talk about the model of an airplane when it comes to a business. If the cockpit is your leadership and how you define the destination and the mission of a business, the wings are your products, the thing that you actually sell and will take you somewhere. Your right engine is your marketing. It's the thing that actually gets you moving down the runway. The left engine is sales, another thing that gets you moving down the runway. You have your fuel tanks is your cash, the thing that you actually burn. And then the main part of the body is your overhead. And so today, what we're kind of dialing in on a little bit is the marketing and sales aspects. And a business of your size, you probably don't really need much of a sales engine. I mean, a place that people can pay you money, yes, but not really,
Yeah.
like a deep sales organization. So let's just focus on the marketing for a second. How would you define marketing?
I mean, it seems to be a means of getting awareness of your product to the market, to the intended audience, I guess, the people that you are hoping are your specific, clientele.
Okay. I think you're close. A lot of people, when I ask that question, they will say, "Oh, it's Facebook ads. Oh, it's YouTube ads. It's, the email campaigns that I set up." Well, that's the how, but really what we're talking about is the what. And I think marketing and sales are two sides of the same coin. So marketing, I think in its most pure form is really how I communicate about a problem that needs a solution so that people who have that problem know they should come talk to me about it. And then the sales side is people who have that problem. Now they have a plan for how to get it solved, right? They know who to talk to and they know how to get their problem solved. So we can talk all day long about Instagram ads and Kickstarter campaigns, all that. But if you're not using the right words to communicate about the problem that you're solving, then you're just kind of shouting into the void. So let's talk a little bit about what problem are you solving with your book?
Yeah.
And we already started this conversation last week, but I think it's worth repeating.
For sure. Yeah. So when I kind of got more invested in writing this story, it was sort of the realization that, man, I have 4 kids. I have lots of friends in the same boat with young families who want wholesome stories. I mean, I grew up, C.S. Lewis, the Narnia series, Lord of the Rings, McDonald's stuff like Weiss or Gibby. I don't know if you guys have gone down his world, but so asking around, just talking to different friends, and the Wing Feather series came up, and the Green Ember series. We got turned on to the Wilder King series. Some really neat series. And I know there's more out there, but in that style of sort of, world building and epic, journeys and adventure.
Sure.
And so if, knowing that group of people, Christian families who want good, powerful stories to engage their kids, it just, it was like, man, I feel like there should be a lot more. It's like when like movies, it's like there should be a lot more really good family friendly movies, and there aren't. But there's whenever one comes out, they're huge, right? Like people like they're even just mainstream. They always kill it at the box office when they're done well and done right.
Yep.
And then anytime they misstep and inject garbage, they just kind of flounder because people don't want that. So that's the problem that I see is there's good stories out there. I don't think there could never be enough. And I feel like there's a massive shortage right now. People are now more than ever, hungry for just good content to read with their family, to hand to their kids and go, I know this is safe. I know it's going to spark
Yeah.
conversation. It's not going to fill your head with nonsense. And, there's so many books that are like, they're fine, but they're just silly, or they're, there's a time for that. Like, I love Calvin and Hobbes, and I love,
Sure.
silliness, but
Or the Penderwicks or something like that, but they don't ring with eternal truth.
yes. And I'm like, I want some meat for my kids and future generations. And so that to me was the problem. Is I want to help be a part. And I think the same with this lady who's writing the other Lightseeker series. Reading her synopsis, like, oh, sweet, like seeking the light. What is truth? What's purpose? What is good? Who am I? All those questions to be explored in an exciting way. So that's the problem that I hope my series can be a part of the solution to. Yeah.
Okay. Let me ask you a question. How many times you mentioned the Wilder King trilogy? You mentioned the Green Ember series and all of the side stories there. You mentioned the Wingfeather saga, Narnia, maybe Lord of the Rings. How many times have you read those as a family?
We've gone through Narnia, Lord of the Rings once. We did, I think Wingfeather we've done twice. Green Ember, we have not done the whole thing all the way through. And then Wilder King, we went through, we've gone through that one once. We'll probably do that one again. That was super fun. We did the audiobook,
Okay.
which was great because he did the voices and all that, and it was super fun.
Awesome.
So probably we'll do a read aloud on that. But I have friends who are like, my kids listen to the Green Ember 15 times, just keeps lapping it, which is great, and that's awesome. But I don't know. One, it's because they're really good, and two, I think it's partially because they're like, I don't know, I don't know what else to put in their hands that I would feel comfortable with.
So put my family in that bucket. I mean, we've read all of those series that we just talked about at least 3 times, some of them 4 times. And we don't do the audiobooks. Like, I actually read them, which like shows you, hey, no, I'm willing to invest in this.
Totally.
And I was standing here wondering, hey, why have we done that? And it's because we haven't found other stuff that is worthy of that form of investment of time and energy for our family. Okay. So if the problem that you're solving is something along the lines of, here's what you said, Christian families deserve stories that edify and build up and are wholesome and true. Families deserve that, but they have a hard time finding it. And so they are sort of stuck on repeat, rereading really good stuff, but maybe at the danger of diminishing the value of it by reading it too many times, too close together.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. So where do you find people like that? I mean, the question becomes, okay, if you're now you've found the bait that you're going to fish with, now you got to find the right pond. Like, where do those people hang out?
Yeah. A lot of them hang out in their homes because they're homeschool families.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, church communities, I've been going online, and there's a lot of like read aloud communities. That's not necessarily a hangout, but those are areas where people, I think, put eyes on. And there's some influential, I don't know, social media people that
like Sarah McKenzie or something.
Yeah, that are like, hey, I'm reading this. It's great. You should read it. So I think there's something to be said about sending free copies for sure to strategic people that I think have influence and are in those communities. But yeah, Christian families in who, a lot of them, they're either homeschooling their kid or just they're very invested in what their kids are doing and reading. And
so how did you find out about, like, Wingfeather Saga? Where did you hear about it?
I think that was a Zach Britton, because he's got kids a little further along, and I know that they love their reading family. They've got a big library, and I've seen it. So I remember asking him for like a list, like, hey, I want to get, I don't want to like just be hunting for books and read them and then like, oh, that's not good. Like, give me your top. And I think Wingfeather, he's like, you got to do Wingfeather. And then he might have said Green Ember too. So yeah, asking people that I trust that are usually a little further along or in the same boat. Trying to remember who told us about the Wilder King. I think it was the Radoviches actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
And we turned them onto it.
Okay. So see, that's how it works.
Yeah. Okay. So what you didn't say, and I think this is really important. You need to take note of this, is you did not say, I saw an ad on Instagram. You did not say, I read a blog post. And here's the truth, Dan, you are best equipped to serve the person that you see in the mirror. Like all of us are coming to the market, with our own perspective and bias, and we can't help that. We are best equipped to serve either the person we are or the person that we were. You wrote this book for families like your own. Like,
Yeah.
I imagine that some of this started, as you told your kids the story that you were developing.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, they're very much involved. Character traits are inspired, by them. Certain lines and comments and things are very much my kids' ideas or things they've said, which has been super fun. But yeah.
So what I'm not saying is that the market is created in your image, but I am saying the people that you're going to connect with the best are going to be people sort of like you. And, in every case so far that you've mentioned, it's all been word of mouth, somebody that I knew, not like some robust social media campaign. There's a place for that, but
Sure.
Right now you're in the grassroots portion. And so I think that whatever strategy you build needs to be about the people that you know, and then leveraging them to be what the Britons and the Radoviches have been for you.
Yeah.
Hey, do you know some other families who are hungry for good stories that ring with truth? Would you do, I'm going to give you one copy, and I don't want you to give it to just anyone. I want you to give it to somebody who you know is going to love it.
Yep.
And don't give it away until you know that they're the right family.
I literally was like, dude, because I've had all these pre-orders, right, from Kickstarter, and I messed up on Kickstarter. I didn't know that this was the issue. I found out about maybe a week and a half ago. Initially, I had it set up where once you pick one thing, that's it, and you can't go back and get another. And it was like, buy the paperback, boom. And then somebody reached out, kind of too late, totally fine, but they said, hey, I was trying to buy like 2 or 3, and I couldn't. And so I went in, there was a way to change that. Doesn't matter now, but it made me think just as you were speaking, like, I think I could afford to send everyone who pre-ordered that only ordered one a second copy and say, hey, exactly what you said. 1, this is yours. Keep it, put it on your shelf, read it. I hope you love it. If you love it, finish it and take this second book and be strategic, partner with me, pass it along. Because I believe it's a strong story. I believe it's engaging. I think once people can get it in their hands and read it, that is my best marketing campaign. But if I help them out, sometimes I'm reluctant to hand out books sometimes because they wander away. And so if you had a burner book, that just came when you already ordered one and you weren't expecting 2, and it's like, oh, cool. What do I do with this? I'll tell you what to do. A little bookmark that says what to do or something. Yep. That's great.
And I'm going to encourage you. You may not suffer from this, but so many business people, authors, like you are a business person. Yeah. Your product's a little bit different than most people I work with, but you're still a business person. And what so many people suffer from, including me, is that we try to scale prematurely.
Yeah.
But here's the truth. Like, hey, do some things that don't scale. And so what I would encourage you to do, especially as you build a grassroots movement, is do for one person what you wish you could do for everyone. And right now you're still in the space where, if you send out 300 books, it wouldn't kill you to include a handwritten note with that second book that you send.
Yeah.
Right. Like at some point that's not going to scale, but right now we have a great investment, a handwritten note that says, hey, I've included this second book, but then don't make it, underhand pitch. Like, be very specific about what you want from them. People will do what you tell them to do.
Yeah.
So if you make the call to action very clear, hey, please don't just give this to the next family you see at church. I want you to think really carefully about one other family that will be richly and deeply blessed by reading this if you enjoyed it.
Yeah, that's good.
Because what you're building then is fans.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's that. And that, like, again, the bandwidth thing, like already on the Kickstarter, you can see who backed you, and I can go in and write a personal note to each one. And so I just went through and not just a mass update, but an individual by name. Hey, the ones I knew, man, so this is awesome. Then there were a handful. I'm like, I don't think we've met. And I'm so curious, like, how did you find out about this book? And that's been fun too. But I love that idea of a personal handwritten note. I've got the bandwidth. I think I have like 180 backers or something. I can do 180 notes for sure. Yeah.
I mean, if you do 3 a day, like, it wouldn't take you that long, right? Now, the next question, I think you and I talked a little bit about primacy.
Yeah.
Did we talk about the science or like the study they did with the medical stuff?
I don't think so.
So the first most important part of any user experience or buyer experience is at the beginning, right? The first taste colors everything else that they're going to get.
Yeah.
Right. But another study looked at proctology things for men in their 40s, which is, clearly a fairly uncomfortable procedure. They took a control group where they did exactly the same thing, polled the people at the end and said, hey, like on a scale of 1 to 10, what'd you think about this procedure?
Yeah.
The second group, they did all the same medical things, but they focused the last 10 minutes on actually making it a very comfortable and, relatively pleasant experience. Yeah. And far and away, that group said that the overall procedure was actually, like an 8 or 9, because the thing that was at the end colored the rest. So you're already doing this on the front end.
Yeah.
How could you make that experience when they open the package, like, blow them absolutely away? I mean, it could be, hey, I've signed both copies, which you might think, oh, that's a little egotistical. No, it's not. Like, this is first run, and if this goes the way that we're praying that it will for you, that could be really valuable at some point. But also that you took the time to sign a copy for them will mean a ton.
Yeah.
Is that something you've already thought about?
Yeah. I mean, well, yes. That was one of the, like, when I went on SD Smith's Kickstarter page, I kind of have used his as a model because he was very successful with the Green Ember series. So the thing with Kickstarter is you build in all these little, these tiers of rewards, basically. So, there was like special limited edition hardcover. Cool. And then for a little bit more, signed. But, the back of my head, it was like, I'll probably sign all these. Maybe I'll sign and maybe with a message on the ones that paid the little extra. Sure. So they don't feel cheated. But I definitely have the bandwidth and have already, like, said and most, a good chunk of people already paid the extra few bucks to have it personalized. Okay. But I love the idea of, all I ordered was a paperback, but now I got 2 and a handwritten note and a cool bookmark, and maybe a sticker. I don't know, just something like, this is cool. And I like that for sure. So even looking at just the packaging, my buddy, the one that told me to write a story, he has a side business where he does these incredibly amazing wood carvings of different animals and then has them, like, molded, and he hand paints them. But his packaging of them alone is, like, incredible. I mean, just the detail, the boxes, they're so cool. So I need to talk to him about, it couldn't be that much more to have a really cool package it comes in that just looks
Right.
very personalized and very like, oh, normally when I get a book, it's just like comes in a cheap Amazon package with some bubble wrap, but this one is something different. I like that.
Right. Right. I mean, you've probably opened, you have a MacBook.
Yep.
You know, when you like lift the lid off, it's actually a little hard to get
Yeah.
off. That's
Yeah.
not an accident. I mean, they designed that packaging from the start to be a premium experience. And you and I talked last week about the idea of, hey, you're playing the 10-year game here.
Yeah.
So if you net very little profit on
Yeah.
this first run, that's
Yeah.
still an investment in the next run.
Yeah. And a lot of the net is going towards making it a really cool book experience. So
Yeah.
a lot of the money's going towards my illustrator, Aiden, to do some like really cool images. And that's an added, I think, like it's just an extra that isn't necessary, but I think it's going
Right.
to enhance it. And I think people are going to be like, oh, whoa, like cool cover, really cool, really thought out images, which, yeah, costs some money, but in the long run, it's worth the investment for sure.
Yeah. Dan, I'm going to give you one other thought. Have you read the Growly series at all?
I don't believe so.
Okay. So,
No, I
your
haven't.
kids are probably a little bit old for it at this point. There's probably 5 or 6 books now, and it's this really sweet series. I mean, it's not full of the same darkness and danger that the Wing Feathers and the Green Embers are. But it's a really sweet series. And we pre-ordered some books from them on their latest release. And what they reached out and asked us was, hey, we'd like to personalize this for you. Can you give us the names of your kids? And then they actually wrote a note to our kids in the cover.
Cool.
That was next level.
Yeah.
Like, we'll buy all of the things that they release because they took the time to care for our family. So just another idea that you may, run with.
Yeah. That's awesome. I like the hand. I did. There was a reward level where you could have your family's name in the book. And so everyone that's been picking that reward, I've been replying to them and saying, hey, how do you want it in the book? Do you want the Ball family, or do you want each kid's name? Do you just want your kids? And that's been kind of cool to do that with people I know. But I think the more, it's making me just wheels spin on the more personalized, the more showing like, I want to make a connection with who's reading this.
So I want to just step back and check in for a minute. You said at the beginning, hey, the thing that I'm really trying to figure out is how do I get the word out?
Yeah.
Do you feel like we've started to answer that question for the phase that you're in, or were you hoping for more?
No, I do. I mean, like you said, it's being strategic. And I do think being very clear with like, can you help me in this manner with the people that have already said I'm invested. I bought one or whatever I've got 100 and my goal is to hit 200 people that have backed on Kickstarter. And so that's, and some of them did order more than one, but if I've got 200 books floating out there that families are reading, plus another 200, and they hand that out. I mean, to me, that's a good start to have like, whoa, I've got 400 families, hopefully, that are going to have a chance to read this, and are incentivized to share it with people. And I've got all their contact, so that's the cool thing about Kickstarter. So I can check in a few months and be like, hey, I'd love to get some feedback on the book. If you've had a chance to read it with your kids or you've read it, I'll use little blurbs that you share to help, get other people excited about it or to keep them engaged in it, for sure.
Lock in with me here for a second because I'm going to do something that might be a little bit uncomfortable.
Sure.
I heard you say something that I think you need to change deeply in your gut and in your heart. You use the phrase when you're talking with people that got your book, can you help me get more people? And I want you to consider eliminating that line of thinking forever from your vocabulary. Here's what I mean by that. I haven't finished reading your book yet, but I know that there's a hero.
Yeah.
And I know that that hero has a problem.
Yeah.
And if your story follows the patterns that most stories follow, at some point, they're going to meet a guide that can help them along the way.
Yeah.
The story is never about the guide, though.
Right.
The guide is the one who has overcome something in the past and is able to point the person in the right direction. But the guide is a fairly minor character. And in what you're doing, you actually are the guide and your customer is the hero, right? Your customer that buys your book, they're the one with the problem. We don't have enough great stuff to read. And you are the guide that's helping them solve that problem. But the story's not about you. It's about them. And so when you make that invitation, hey, here's a book, flip the script a little bit. It's not, can you help me get this book into somebody else's hands? It's, can you help another family like you? And now they get to play the guide for another hero.
Yeah.
It's a subtle tweak, but it's actually a really important one.
No, it is. That's a great perspective shift because I would love to have like already. I mean, anyone that's shared about it, they have now taken my position as like a champion for like
Yes,
getting somebody else excited about another good book for their family. So yeah, phrasing matters for sure.
Well, and in this case, it matters a lot because if you say, can you help me? Even though you don't intend it this way, because I know you and I know your heart, it's not like this selfish thing. It can sound oddly self-serving. And instead, if you're inviting them to play the role of helping someone else, it's not self-serving at all.
Yep. Yeah, that's great. And as we've talked, I know for sure we're not the only families that are like, gosh, I wish there were more good stories for my kids that I could be like, run with this or read with them. And so I know there's other families who know families that are in the same boat and I don't know them. And so they get to play that role.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. So let me check in. Like, what's one or two things that are standing out that you're going to be able to go and do now?
Yeah. I want to do some brainstorming on just really making the experience for the people that have already ordered it just really unique and really exciting to like, oh, I'm in this, I'm invested in this journey and I get to play the part of now, being the guide and sharing a book very intentionally with a family that I really know would benefit. I want to get that right. I'll probably share with you my my blurb that I draft. But yeah, that idea of giving everybody an extra book with a handwritten note. I want it to be a cool experience when they get the book, and I want to make sure I am intentional with that. And I think I think just the reminder that I got to pivot here soon on the title because it all that changes the cover and the printing and the website and the social, just the way I reach out. I mean, it's been like, hey, Lightseeker fans, like you're now Seek the Light fans, or I don't know. I need to check off the boxes of like, as just a Christian, I reached out to a fellow author and said, hey, this is wild. I want to just see if we can connect first.
Yeah.
And then I gotta let people know why I'm pivoting and why the cover that I've been promoting is changing and my Instagram page is changing and everything's changing sooner rather than later. Yeah.
For what it's worth, only a single data point. I like light hunters. I don't think it has a negative connotation. Again, but that's one data point. Don't
Yeah.
give me any
Yeah.
extra
It'll be
weight.
fun to create a poll and see, I'll probably post the poll on Instagram and then also on the Kickstarter, all the people that have purchased, and just say, hey, this is crazy. Here's where we're at. I don't want this book to get lost in the shuffle behind another great series. So here are your options. What do you think? And then we'll go from there. But yeah, that's good. I appreciate the data point. That's one. Yeah.
Okay. Let's close with this, and then I'd like to pray for you. S.D. Smith, Andrew Peterson, Jonathan Rogers.
Rogers, yep.
I don't know all of their stories, but I know a couple of theirs. Yeah. And it's just going to be true that the first couple of years after they tried to publish their books, they were still in the hundreds of readers or low thousands of readers. But 10 years this side, they've almost become household, common names in the right circles. And I hope and pray the same for you, Dan. That maybe it'll happen faster, but probably not. It's going to be 5-10 years hence that it actually really catches on and you become a household name. So don't give up, and don't try to outgrow yourself too fast.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, and I can only write stories so quickly. So if I get too far ahead, it's going to be like, hey, where's that second book? Which thankfully second book is done. Just needs some heavy editing. Yeah. So that's fun.
Cool. Well, let me pray for you.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right. Well, God, I thank you so much for the opportunity that Dan and I have had to talk. And thank you for this book that you've given him, Lord. I think of Oholiab and Bezalel in the book of Exodus. God, you called them to create masterpieces and art. And you said that you equipped them with all of those skills to weave in purple and to use gold, but all for your own glory. And you called them to be strong and then to use those skills. And it seems to me that you've given Dan the same. You've equipped him with this incredible storytelling ability. You gave him the title and the story arc, and all of these things come from your hand and are to be used for your glory. So I ask, God, that you would bless the work of his hands, that you would surround him with wise people as he seeks to get the word out about this book, and as he tries to navigate this tricky space of the title and how to handle the collision with another book and author. God, I pray for grace as he talks to, hopefully talks to this other author. Maybe you have some neat thing, collaboration in store there, or maybe you want to work through this trial to teach Dan something as well. But God, either way, we ask for your grace in the middle of all of it. And as my family reads this story, and as we hope many hundreds and even thousands of other families engage in the story, we pray that it would bless them, that it would spark the imagination and creativity of our children, and that it would also teach all of our families a little bit more about the world that we're living in and the ways that you're working through all of our circumstances for your own glory and for our good. God, bless my brother as he tries to make more decisions in this week to come. And I pray that the right people would latch on to this story and share the excitement with other families that Dan doesn't know. God, we ask all these things for the name and the glory and the reputation and the kingdom of Christ. And it's in his name that we pray. Amen.
Amen. Dude, that was super fun. Super helpful too. Appreciate it.
Awesome. Wasn't that an inspiring conversation? What really stood out to me from my time with Dan was his heart, not just to sell books, but to serve families with stories that really speak truth, stir wonder, and spark deep conversations within their families. Dan isn't wallowing in self-pity or falling into a victim mindset over the title issue. Instead, he's being gracious and asking how God might use this. So from navigating a surprise title conflict with humility to crafting grassroots movements, one handwritten note at a time, Dan's approach is really a masterclass in godly grit. So if you're hungry for stories like his, stories that your family can read aloud and be shaped by, then I want to encourage you, pre-order Dan's book. You'll find the link in the show notes below. And if you want more conversations like this one, real-time coaching with Christian business owners, then be sure to subscribe to the podcast or the YouTube channel. And if you know another Christian business owner who would be encouraged by this episode, would you please share it with them? Just like Dan's early readers, you might be the one who puts the right story into the right hands. So that's it for this episode. Let me leave you with this benediction. Now, may the Lord bless the work of your hands. May he give you courage in the face of uncertainty and wisdom as you walk the long road of obedience. I'll see you next time.